What up? It's Coach Vassar. Thank you for joining me with the OTF Audio Daily Beats. As always, appreciate you tuning in. If you're new to these, information is in the description on how to support me. We're going to do a little deep dive into this workout, kind of give you an overview, talk about the treads, rower, weight floor. This is going to be Friday, November 29th, which is a 3G only workout. And it's one of the specialties, the strength in numbers. This is one where it's also a global leaderboard for the rowers with a 14-minute row for distance. So yeah, key concepts, we're gonna be doing strength in numbers, where we celebrate what we could accomplish individually and as a team. We have an incline challenge on the treads, distance row on the rower that you'll record, and then a unique rep challenge on the weight floor. Perform a high number of reps to build our physical and mental strength. So for the treads, you're gonna see 3 4-minute tread efforts, and your challenge is to continue to increase your incline throughout all 3. For the rower, 14-minute row for distance. How far can you go? See what you can do, what your studio can do, or even how you measure up across the globe. And then on the floor, your goal is 20 to 30 unbroken reps, meaning nonstop lift of each exercise before your rest. So going over the treads first, 14 minutes. They're gonna do 4 minutes of work, 1 minute flat road walk recovery, clear out their OT Connect, another 4 minutes, 1 minute walk recovery, and then one more clear out OT Connect, and then the final 4 minutes. Now, a couple call outs for this one. We're gonna start flat road. Power walkers, if they wanna start like at their base incline, they could, but it also benefits starting at that 1%. Essentially, they're gonna have 3.5 minutes to get up incline as far as they can. They choose the intensity they move at. You could adjust their speed throughout those 4 minutes, but every 0.1 as a jogger runner that they complete, or 0.05 as a power walker, they are gonna increase their incline. The thing though is at the 3.5 minute mark, they're no longer increasing their incline. For that final 30 seconds, they are gonna bump up the speed, basically make it like an uphill all out. At the 4 minute mark, incline down to 1, remember that incline that they were just at, walk it out for 60 seconds, and then for round 2, they pick up where they left off. So let's say they finished round 1 at that 4% incline, and then they hit that final 30 seconds where they sped up a little bit. They'll drop it back down to 1% for round 2, they start at 4%, and then same thing, clear out their OT Connect, so they have to do a full 0.1 before they go to 5%, 6, 7, 8, etc., etc. And they're gonna do that for 3 rounds. Power walkers, of course, every 0.05 is when they're gonna start making those jumps up. Now, when it comes to the bikes and striders, they're gonna try to find an RPM 60 to 100 as always, and start about the base gear. And then at the distance that they hit, we're gonna increase gear by 1 while they try to stay that RPM range. So for the older bikes, it's gonna be 0.4. The newer bikes and the striders are going to be 0.3. So every 0.4 or 0.3, they're going to add 1 gear. If I remember right, like last time that we kind of did this, people were getting about 7 to like 9%. So that's going to be, about 6 to 8 increases overall. So by that 3rd round, it's going to be for the bikes and striders. It might be kind of hard to keep adding to their gear without sacrificing RPM. So at that point, it might be beneficial for them just to maintain gear and do their best to stay above 60 RPMs to protect their joints, get them out of the saddle, really work on that cue of, scraping gum off the bottom of their shoe so they get some more hamstring and glute recruitment on that back pedal up. That's kind of it. So obviously, the more conditioned people, they're going to probably start a little bit faster, which means they're going to increase incline a lot quicker. But by then, that 2nd and 3rd round, starting at those higher inclines, they might be dialing back quite a bit on their speed. Eventually, that's kind of it. They do have a card in front of them, so definitely have them use that to their advantage of reminding them, hey, this is what you're doing. That way, you can make your setup pretty simple for that. Moving on to the rowers, 14-minute stored program, row for distance. I mean, the truest of the true endurance challenges. I will say, looking like on like Facebook groups and even Reddit, I know people have been like aiming to get like 4,000 meters as like a goal in their head. For reference, if they want to get 4,000 meters in 14 minutes, their split time has to average a 1:45 split the entire time. It's that simple. Then they'll get 4,000 meters. So just something to kind of be aware of. With a long row stroke rate, they might start a little bit on that higher end with a little bit less leg drive, so like 26 to 28 strokes per minute, 4 or 5 out of leg drive. So really using momentum to get them, front to back on this one. With this being a distance challenge, obviously they're just tracking their distance, put it onto the challenge tracker. If people need to rack their handles and catch their breath, they can, but obviously then they're no longer collecting distance. This is a tough one, not just physically, but mentally, because I know a lot of people don't like the rower, and being on the rower for 14 minutes just sounds absolutely dreadful. So there you go. As far as the weight floor goes, nice and simple. We're gonna see a squat to calf raise, shoulder press, alternating reverse lunge, bicep curl, 20 to 30 reps. Those are the 4 dumbbell exercises. And then they're gonna hold a high plank until they are essentially ready to repeat. The goal here is obviously use one weight choice, try to get at least 20 reps without stopping, up to 30 reps. So very light on that weight. So what's gonna happen is, because of the volume, the number of reps that they're doing, that lightweight will feel heavy over time. Squat to calf raise, pretty simple there. Shoulder press, they could do a neutral grip or an uppercut. For that alternating reverse lunge, they could do step ups instead. Weights are gonna be at their side, so they could do that there. Obviously that's gonna fatigue the forearms more so than anything. So if they wanna do it like a front rack, kind of take the weight off the arms, but more on the core, that's another way. And then of course with the bicep curls, biggest thing I tend to see with that is like half reps. So they'll lower their arms about halfway and then pull right back up. Try to get them to get that full extension. That way they get that full stretch of the bicep muscle to get the most of it for hypertrophic gains. The high plank itself, it's not high plank as long as possible. Just pop that plank for a little bit, get some core activation in. When you're like, yeah, I feel good. Okay, stop, and then rinse and repeat. I remember doing this, I think we officially did this last time, like July of 2023. Most people got 2, maybe 3 rounds in, because if you do it right, you shouldn't need to rest 30 to 60 seconds after each movement. If they really did 20 to 25 reps unbroken, doing 30 reps definitely does not sound fun. No finisher for the weight floor other than increase intensity. So just keep them working, keep them moving. If anything, you could have the weight floor, on the last rotation, have the weight floor go over to the rowers and cheer them on for the final 30 seconds to kind of hype them up and, get them to fight through that fatigue and get those extra 50 meters on that distance before they shut it down. That's it for strength in numbers. As always, any feedback, let me know. Information in the description. I appreciate you who have bought me coffee. Completely optional, but I do appreciate that. And that, until next time, coach it down.